Back in the old stomping grounds, your camp returns again to Fort Wayne. Just talk a little bit about the participation you've had this year and just kind of what you're doing with the kids.
It's been a similar format. We go out and we try to get as many of the middle school age kids as we can from the area, and we bring them in to work at camp with a lot of the high school coaches from the area. The program starts though on Friday night with the coaches clinic, and it's the whole premise of the coaches clinic is we're trying to bring in the resources that our coaches can use to just better tool themselves to take full advantage of the opportunity they have with our kids. You get a kid that's raises his hand and says, I want to go play football. Coaches have a wonderful opportunity and a great responsibility to not only teach them to block and tackle, but to teach them and make sure they focus on all the life skills and the real world stuff that can be taught on the football field, which the reality is all of us, save the couple that do make it and make a career out of it, are just using that as a tool to improve the way they are parent or the way they work in the workplace, or just whatever it is. Those are the skills you're learning on the field, and that's why you do it. I mean, not everybody has a career playing football, so it's a wonderful opportunity for the coaches, and so that's the coaches clinic, is just to give them a very broad spectrum and a holistic approach to the various things that from nutrition to health and safety to positive coaching skills. We did a bit on concussions to try to educate them on just how important diagnosing and understanding what a head injury is and the impacts it can have, especially on a child. So that was a big piece of it. And then Chuck Martin came in, the recruiting coordinator from Notre Dame, and did just an outstanding talk on team building and how to challenge your kids to be the best teammate they can be, and all of the things that go into that. And it was just we had him scheduled for 40 minutes, and I had to stop him at an hour, and I think everybody in the room was mad at me for stopping him, but they weren't going to leave the high school open all night for us, so we didn't have a choice. But then this morning starts with a community service project. All our kids that sign up, they don't pay $1 to be in it. We have very, very generous sponsors that just make it so that there's no reason a kid out here needs to pay for it. But we're not giving them a handout, and none of us here agree that another handout is the thing that our kids need. And so what we do is we create an opportunity through a community service project that we facilitate for them to pay their tuition. And each year we kind of mix it up and do something different. And this morning we sent them out to 7 different places, and they had an opportunity to get toe-to-toe with people that are in need. And they also had to get toe-to-toe with the people who choose to give their life to serving those folks. And so it was a great mix of all that. And I was very impressed with the attitude our kids had this morning. And it's just one of those things that, some people don't have money, some people do. Everybody comes from different backgrounds and different scenarios, but we all have time and we all have energy and we all have a choice on how we choose to use it. And our kids woke up this morning and chose to do that with it. And as a reward to that, we give them as much football as they can handle for the rest of the weekend. And, so those same group of high school coaches that were teaching the clinic last night are now out here working with the young men that chose to attend the camp. So we're excited about it.
Why is it important for you to get back to Fort Wayne?
Well, it's funny, you get asked that question a lot, and the reality is I don't look at it as important for me personally because it's of my occupation or anything. I don't think my responsibility or my obligation to quote-unquote give back is any different than the guy that is a doctor now that grew up across the street from me, or the guy that's working at the bar or whatever it is. There's just not – the obligation responsibility isn't different. I think there is an opportunity that I have that's a little different because of the fact that you guys will come out here and do this because there's an NFL player from home, doing it. But as far as my obligation, I don't look at it as any different. And that's actually one of the messages we're trying to share with these kids is through the exercise we give them in servant leadership is to understand that, whether it's a team on the field or a team in your community, whatever it is, you have an obligation to the people around you. And none of us do very well on our own. And so these kids, not only do they recognize they didn't need a handout today to come and do this, they were capable of paying their own way to do it, and they were also capable of reaching over and helping the guy next to them. And so there's just, I think there's a very confidence building, the whole process just kind of, we're trying to do a holistic development of the kid. I truly, and I say this with all due respect to all the football coaches out here, if a kid doesn't learn anything about football out here, I can sleep tonight. If a kid didn't learn anything this morning at the community service project, I'm not going to sleep tonight. We're going to figure out a way to do that differently. But the most important thing is just to give that kid it's not lip service. Give him a real life experience. And you know, we had kids this morning carrying a bunch of groceries out at the Harvest Food Center, or the Community Harvest Food Bank, taking food that people, when they walked in the door, they had nothing. They show up Saturday mornings because that's all they got. That's the only chance they have a chance, you know, to put food on the table. And our kids are helping them carry those things to their car, and they're interacting directly with these people. You know, some of the people can't even carry the stuff because of their physical condition, and our kids just got in the mud, you know what I mean? And that was just an awesome thing to see. We had kids out at Associated Churches doing similar things. We had them at Scan Garden working. It was just you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, every once in a while you see adults covering their eyes because they start to tear up, and you know, but you're like, all right, we're probably doing something right now, you know. And you ask the kids, why are you doing this, and they can tell you exactly why you're doing it. And I had a kid this morning ask me, which I thought was just awesome. I actually made him ask an adult about it, but I said, or he came up to me, he's like, why do we only do this on this weekend? I said, that's a wonderful question. I was like, ask everybody you talk to about this. And I was like, next time you come back, bring 2 of your friends. You don't have to wait till next year when we do this. But his first thought was, if these people need so much help and I can help them, why would I only come out here on the day that I get a football camp to do it? Wonderful question. So those little things are, I guess, why we do it, you know.
Can I switch gears on you
Yeah.
a quick second? Have you met Cam Newton yet?
I have not met him. I've not. There's still a bit of a barrier between staffs of teams and players, and when he was in town, somehow there's like a gap in that, you know, he was allowed to be around our GM and stuff or our staffs when he got drafted, and then shortly after that I think he left town, and I don't know if he's been back or not, but you know, Coach Rivera can't call me up and say, hey, come sit down with me right now, let's talk about football. That's just the way the deal is. And so guys are kind of scattered all over, and until we're back to business and everybody's back in town, it'll kind of be like that. So I'm looking forward to meeting him, though. I mean, I've never played on a team with the first pick, and if you get taken as the first pick in a draft, you've probably done something to earn that. So
How many times a day do you hear the word lockout? You getting tired of hearing about it?
You know, I'm not, because as long as people are saying lockout, not strike, it means they understand that we're not striking. And so I actually am encouraged when I hear people say, when's the lockout going to end? And then I remind them that we are unable to lock people out. And if you want to know the answer to that question, that there's 32 phone numbers I could give you to call and ask, but I'm not one of those people you could call and ask. As we said all along, the players are just doing what they can do to protect themselves as best they can. It's just no different than any other employee in any other business would. And so.
Do you think any games will be missed? Do you think they'll have something worked out?
I certainly hope none are. I know that right now the timetable's not in our hands. The timetable's in the hands of a group of different judges, and with the different litigations that are going. And it's unfortunate they're going, but there really aren't other options. And they understand the timetable, and I think they understand the importance of the timetable. So I'm guessing they will. The way they rule and the way the procedure goes will probably reflect their understanding of that. So I'm hoping that, you know, they get that resolved. But I know that, you know, with the team that we had last year and the age of our team, it's a very, very young team, and the new coaching staff and all these new draft picks we have, that more practice is going to be better than less practice for us. So I'd like to get on the field as soon as we can, you know, just to give us an opportunity to really be successful this year, and, you know, give guys like Cam and those guys an opportunity to actually get in here. And you know, because people forget, they're going to flip the light switch on and say, let's go play football, but people forget the fact that there's a whole load of business that hasn't been done that's normally done in March that hasn't happened yet.